Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of gold and silver. We'll look at the dollar, the 10-year yield, and go through the precious metals, some ETFs, and some individual companies that I usually follow. Keep in mind, I know I've got some subscribers that are new that maybe have never watched this before. I do not trade in and out of these companies. I just buy them and hold. I do this for everyone who potentially may want to enter into positions or do whatever they want. But it's just my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. And again, I do not trade in and out. I just use these as buying opportunities and I cost average in. So we've got the dollar here. The dollar's been relatively flat today. We've been tracking higher. I do think we're going to get maybe even closer in a retest, and then I think we're going to drop. The expansion phase of real estate puts pressure on the dollar to go down, but it is highly dependent on how much inflation is in other currencies that this is compared against. So this could still increase and still be debased quite dramatically. The 10-year yield, I have an inverted head and shoulders pattern on this. I don't know how high this can go before causing damage, because I think back here we had problems. In 2018, they had to do QE, they had to bring this all down, and a whole bunch of different problems, and then the medical event happened. But it looks to me like it wants to go higher. Gold, let's get it on the daily candlesticks here. Now I've got gold kind of coming up in this ascending wedge type pattern. Sometimes these like to blow out to the downside, regroup, and then try again to move on higher. But what happens is the buyers are running out of steam and they're getting tired in an ascending wedge. But again, these can also break to the upside. We have to wait and see, but more than likely they break to the downside. And this is a very small wedge, so it'd be a very small pullback before heading higher. So that's a very short-term move. On the long-term view, we are still in this wedge, and I think we're just going to do a little downward movement before moving higher. Silver, another very small down day today. On the daily candlesticks, it's just a small little, we went up, we tried moving up, we sold off, and we could see some sideways movement to lower in the very short term. But again, guys, I use this as buying opportunities. Down here is a great time to be looking. And if we get to come back again, I would be looking to buy again. Platinum having a small up day. We're at $3 right now, and it's at 2 o'clock. It's just ending, 2 o'clock Mountain Time. We're coming in here. We tried to run. We had a little bit of we ran into a little bit of sellers. That's why this wick is up here. And again, big buying pressure, small selling pressure. We're just kind of moving sideways before the buyers step in again, I think. The XAU to gold ratio, it's been moving sideways on the big long-term perspective. I'm just waiting for the break. I'm being patient here. It's been moving sideways for some time, though. I thought we for sure were getting a break here, and it somehow stayed contained. So I thought we were going to roll it May 21. This is Karora Resources. It's a company in Australia. Again, we're still inside this pattern. We are starting to hug the upper end of the resistance channel, and hopefully we can break it soon. Endeavor Silver. We broke the downtrend here. We've been flopping around. I mean, we went up, but it looks like we're going to move sideways for a little bit. Big picture view. We're still in this massive pattern that we got to break out of to the upside eventually. SILJ with the massive pattern. I'm going to zoom in on it. Downtrend broken. And I think we're going to see some chopping sideways before we go anywhere. That's my take on it. Same with GDX. I think we're going to see some chopping sideways, maybe some back and forth movement before getting a run at it. But we're in this nice pattern here. And I mean, looking at this from a big picture view, we broke the big downtrend line. You could see the breakout of that. That's why this thing ran. It was a breakout of the big pattern. Then you get a consolidation phase right here. And then it's whenever we break. It's just going to take some time. It'll come. It'll come and it will be big. And looking at metallic minerals, we've got this nice little pattern below us. Nice, good support, and we're right on that support, riding the support. And this is a more highly speculative silver exploration company. So position size it correctly. It's not something that I would be going all in on. Another one, Discovery Silver. We had an ascending wedge pattern. We broke out to the downside, and we're just flopping around, kind of moving sideways at the moment. We need silver and gold to engage, especially silver for Discovery Silver. First Majestic, nice good pop off that descending wedge. And we're just tracking sideways, 2 little small down days. I still think the buyers are in control. Big picture view, though, massive pattern developing. Once this thing breaks and gets moving, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think Newmont's got the largest pattern I know of. On the daily, we're still, I mean, it looks like we're trying to break to the upside here. So it looks pretty good, actually. But it's a massive pattern going all the way back to 87 was the peak here. So this was the lead in, big old consolidation, and hopefully we can break this thing at some point. Someone asked about Mag Silver. Mag Silver has a lot of selling pressure in here. What I do is I don't dive into it. I wait for it to kind of calm down. Then I get my shares when the opening and closing prices start to contract. What that means is that the buyers are equaling the sellers. So I mean by that, well, maybe I can find a couple days as I look for days like this. So something that comes down, it contracts, I buy it, and then I just hold on. So I mean, this is a lot of selling pressure through here where it could continue lower. And if we break through this support line here, we could see a break lower here. And the reason it's selling off is I think something with like a license or something. Yamana Gold, we've got the pattern. It's a descending wedge. We're right at the tip of it. I mean, it looks good. And that's of a massive pattern behind it that broke to the upside, and we're putting in another flag pattern to move. Eventually, it'll move higher, I think. Remember, guys, this is just probabilities. It's not 100% outcome. Impact Silver, this is very normal to do this. You break out of a pattern, you get a bottoming pattern, buyers step in, you get a slow leak off of sellers, you buy it down here, it pops up, it does a return move, and then it goes. So this one looks good. This one I think has a little bit more risk in it based off of where it's at. I think this one's in Peru. Kind of almost a cup and handle pat. Well, it's not, because you need a lead in from the upper. But it's contracting down and trying to find a bottom is what it's trying to do. The royalty companies, this is Sandstorm Gold. Big picture view, we're still riding on this support line. But, I mean, if you guys like gold and silver and you like royalty companies, Sandstorm's the one to look at. Franco-Nevada's got another big pattern that we are scribing out. We're right at the bottom of it on its trend line. And when this thing breaks to the upside, I think it'll be good. And why do I think everything's going to break to the upside? The market conditions are inflationary. I think we'll see increasing rates, or at least the pressures will be there. And that's when gold and silver thrive, is under an inflationary environment with increasing interest rates, which always happens in an expansion phase of real estate, which we're in. EMX is still getting its kind of its retest move on. It's still looking a little bit weak. I don't see the huge amount of buyers stepping in yet because we got some big selling pressure all through here. So I do think that we could go sideways to lower on this. Might need to base out. Teuton Resources getting some buying love from the Teuton lovers out there. It's grinding right on its lower edge line, though. That's what I don't like. And there isn't much support underneath this when you back out. I mean, this could, it's grinding there. It's trying to find, it's waiting for gold and silver to move on up. This was the Tudor find when they had a big find at one of their properties. And then this is the massive pattern that squeezed up and broke to the upside. Wheaton Precious Metals. It's squeezy up there, broke to the upside, and we're consolidating on top of the pattern. Gold royalty is just, it's squeezing up here. And that's what we got today, is we're just squeezing in the pattern. Metallo royalty is also in the tip of its pattern right here. And what we're doing is we're bouncing all around at the tip here, playing just the tip. Mavericks metals breaking down a little bit. I mean, we're down here. We have a ascending wedge that broke to the downside, and we're probably just going to move sideways to maybe a little bit lower. But we'll see. We'll see if the buyers can step in here and what gold does. Royal Gold's got a big old pattern here coming up, and we're above the trend line. Let me go into log here, guys. There we go. That's what I meant to put. That's what it looks like on our logarithmic chart. And then Cisco Gold royalty is just, we're putting this big squeeze on. The lows are coming up. Looks good. Looks like we want to break it because the lows are getting higher and higher and stepping right into it. So we're right inside the pattern. We'll see what happens. But that's what I've got for today. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And, you know, I've been waiting patiently for this stuff. I do think we're probably a little bit early. Usually this starts like a year or two into an expansionary phase, or maybe even 3 years. So there is a possibility that these scribe out a little bit longer, 6 months to another year, without breaking up. It's a possibility. Doesn't mean I'm right. I own this stuff. I'm in it. I'm holding on, and that's what my decision is. So, and I know this stuff's of good value. We can see it in the ratio of the XAU to gold ratio. These mining companies are incredibly good value, and gold's cheap to everything else. So that's my opinion there. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.